Good evening. I know you all were waiting. And hello there. Good evening. Welcome to day 28. Hey Frat, how are you? Good evening. Hello Facebook, Periscope, and Instagram. Welcome to day 28. Let me move this a little bit. So, all right. There we go. Thank you. Hey Neek. Hello. Hey Lisa, how are you? Hey everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was having a glitch on my laptop. And I'm doing something different, and so I'm live on Facebook on my laptop, but then I can view it on my desktop. I have like way too many contraptions going on right now, but my laptop is old, and so it's kind of, you know, doing what it wants to do. But we are on day 28. Literally, we have, after today, 2 more days of reading 30 Days of Thanks. 30 daily devotions for cultivating an attitude of gratitude. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be. I'm eating sweet potato pie thanks to your husband. Don't blame it on him. He was tearing that pie up. I was like, Lord. But you know what? I just ordered myself a mixer. Not a big mixer, but a hand mixer, so that I can start making him some sweet potato pies. My husband loves sweet potato pie. Hello, Chantrice. Hey, Melina. How are you, loves? He really does, and so he loves the patty pie. I don't think they're like the greatest. To be honest, I think like my recipe, if I cooked it consistently enough, is like the bomb.com. Like seriously, like I come from a family of cookers, from scratchers, right? And so I don't cook from scratch all the time, or at all, really, most of the time. Well, it depends on what I cook. But as far as like desserts and stuff, like I do have some cook desserts from scratch skills. Like I've been known to make a red velvet cake. This was my first time trying it. Oh, okay. Red velvet cake. Hey Faye. A pound cake. And the sweet potato pie. And so I bought my mixer simply because my husband loves pound cakes and he loves sweet potato pie. And so I'm about to put my little mixing skills together and start cooking up a little something from my boo. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to 30 Days of Thanks Live. We are on Mixer, Go Old School, and Hand Mash. Child, listen, now you doing too much, Melina. You doing too much, right? And so my mom has the real big mixer. And so like where you can just, but I bought like a hand mixer, right? Because first of all, I'm not making like no 20 pies. And so, hey, Aminata, how are you, love? So I'm totally not making no like 20 pies. Like I want to be able to make him a few pies here and there. You know what I mean? And so, I'm going to try to put my little, you know, my mixing skills together, my cooking skills and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, no, we are not hand mashing sweet potatoes. Like, we are totally not doing that. We're going to put them things in the mixer. We're going to lift them up. We're going to pull the strings out. We're going to mix them up again. We're going to pull some more strings out. So, y'all didn't know I had skills like that. You didn't know. I had the sweet potato skills. Pull the string over, pulling the strings out. Y'all didn't know. A little something. But yes, so we are down to literally like mixed master. Yes, I'm trying, Faye, trying to keep my skills up, right? So at any rate, like I said, I bought me a little mixed master. The funny part is my mom bought me a mixer like a while ago, and the crazy thing is so this is the kind of shopper my mom is, y'all. So this is totally like off subject. My mother's the kind of shopper where like right now, and I told y'all guys I think yesterday about Black Friday shopping, and totally I'm totally not shopping with her. And so I totally haven't shared this yet. So those of you, if you are sharing on Facebook and on Periscope, just go on ahead and share. But she was the kind of person where she would buy stuff now for next year. So here's the thing. She bought me this mixer, gave me the mixer, and the 2 little mixer prongs were missing out of the mixer. But the problem is she had bought it so long ago, we don't know where she bought it from or where to buy the little things to replace it. That's my mother. So I actually have a mixer that I can sit the bowl and everything in. I just have no thingies in it. And so I even tried to Google like on Amazon or whatever. We have no clue where she got it from. Like that's the kind of stuff my mother does. She will go and buy something like, I bought you a mixer. It's been sitting in the garage for about 6 months. Matt, that's what you call my dad. Matt, can you go get that mixer? Girl, listen, right? Listen, new from the year before, girl, that is Ozella, let me tell you. So at any rate, I just went on ahead. You know, they had the Black Friday, so I'm not doing the big mixer. I'm gonna work my way up, and I got the nice little hand mixer, and so I'm gonna, you know, get my little going. Hey Tamara, how are you, love? Good evening. And so that's what we're gonna do, right? So I will keep y'all posted once my mixer comes, because of course I got the free shipping and everything, so it'll probably be here sometime this week. Go get me some yams, some sweet potatoes, get my little ingredients, get my little crusts and everything. Now my mom used to. Now this is one of the things that I haven't done in a long time. I don't even remember the last time, because now we just go and get the crust. But my mom used to make the crust from scratch. And so I'm going to try to see. I'm not going to do that initially. I'll probably just go get the frozen crust and thaw them out and that sort of thing. But at some point, I am going to try my hands at the crust from scratch. I am at some point. You know, I'm going to get a little, you know, I'm trying to get a little domesticated, y'all. Y'all know I ain't that domesticated, but I'm going to try to get a little domesticated around here. So, you know, we might do a little, you know, scope while I'm cooking my little pies and everything, right? Yes. The crust from scratch. My mama has some skills. Now, I don't cook a lot, because here's the thing. It's 3 of us in this house. And for the most part, like, my husband works a lot, I work a lot. And so we will cook a lot of food, and we will waste a lot of food. And let me just tell y'all, I hate wasting food. Like, I hate throwing food out. I hate to clean my refrigerator out and be like, dang, I forgot that we had this, or dang, like, I knew I shouldn't have cooked this much. So the reason I literally stopped cooking a whole lot, like, early on in my marriage, is because I was cooking for like 5 people, and it literally was like the 2 of us. This is even before Dallas was born. So at any rate, so now I'm just trying to, like, get back into the swing of things and really figuring out how to cook for 3 people. And making sure that it's not like for like 3 weeks, because like literally I will cook for that much. So I'm going to share this, because I haven't shared it at all, so I can let folks know that we are officially live and in full effect. Tanika, I see that you saw that post that my niece shared on Facebook. She is always trying to, like, hey Sharon, good evening. And just, you know, she's just crazy. Totally crazy. They come over here, put me on Snapchat, put me on Facebook, twerking in my face. I tried to stab her with a pencil to get a little booty out my face. And then she wanted to say it's hell a bad word. So I told her, I said, you going to hell. They always come over here terrorizing me. But I love them. I do. I love them. And so, you know, those my girls. So I'm not, you know, they came over to hang. They said they wanted to talk. And I guess maybe they were, like, feeling me out to see if, like, if I was going to be, you know, going off on them, and I didn't. But, I had to turn my little space heater off. But, Kyrie! What's up? So, yeah, so they come over here terrorizing me, but they didn't really mention what they wanted to talk about, so I'm not sure what they wanted to mention. But, again, those are my girls. I just, you know, love them to pieces. I just, you know, I have to get after them every now and then. So at any rate, we are full effect with day 28. We are like 2 days away from closing this thing out. So while I'm sharing, can y'all just tell me how this has been for you all, those of you who have been joining me, if not for all 30 days or all 28 days, like, how has this been for you, for those of you who have been joining me? Like, what has it been like to read the book again, you know, to if you don't have the book, to read along and listen along with me as I'm reading. If you have both the book and the devotional, right? Book and devotional, book, devotional, book, devotional, book, devotional, right? They look the same, but they're different. So if you have them and you've been writing, like, literally, what has it been like for you? Like, how has it been? Hey, Chantel, how are you, lovey lipstick chatter? Good evening, boo. How has it been? Like, have you, you know, has it kind of brought some things into, I do have more books in stock. Boop, boop. Yes. And I actually, I have to talk to Michelle about, putting some in the bookstore on Sunday, because she had asked me about that for church. I am good. You know, just, you know how it is, sis, in transition, managing multiple things, all that kind of stuff. But I'm super, super, super good. So, thriving for free. Hey, everybody. So we are on, so yeah, so we do have more in stock, and I have them, so let me know. Those of you who do not have my book, 30 Days of Thanks, 30 Daily Devotions for Cultivating an Attitude of Gratitude, it is not just very enlightening. Yes. And so it is not just for November. Now, I've been doing this for the past 5 years, every November, initially as a online e-devotional, and now as a book for the last year and this year, for the last year or two, whatever you want to call it. And so, I've had people who have read this not only, during Thanksgiving time, because obviously November is a time where we give thanks and all that juiciness, but just in general, like, as I keep saying, being thankful is not an option, right? It's not optional, it's a necessity. And so for many of us, we need to be reminded of things to be thankful for that we keep forgetting about. We need to be reminded that despite what is going on around us, that despite what is happening, right, that there is still something to be thankful for, right? And so with that being said, let's jump in. Like, I totally don't want to keep you all here all night and talk about, dinner and cooking and sweet potato pies and all that juiciness, or how my nieces try to prank me and punk me on Snapchat. But we're here really to talk about day 28, which is the day being thanks for favor. And so the quote at the top of today's day says, "For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime." Psalm 30, chapter 30, verse 5a. It says, "For his anger lasts only a lifetime, but his favor," for his anger, I keep saying favor, lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. His favor lasts a lifetime. And somebody needs to be reminded of that. Like, sometimes we feel like, God is angry at us forever. We feel like, some things that we've done that he will be angry like all the time. And I'm here to remind you, and I'm here to let you know that his anger only lasts for a moment, but what lasts for a lifetime? His favor. And that's Psalm 30, chapter 30, verse 5. So being thankful for favor says, on this 28th day of thanks, we want to give thanks for favor. When you think about favor, I want you to think about all the things that could have happened in your life and didn't. I also want you to think about all the things that shouldn't have happened but did. That is favor. Today we give thanks for God opening doors that we never knew existed. We give thanks for relationships that we are developing that we know if it wasn't for favor, we would not have connected. We give thanks for jobs and careers that we aren't and weren't qualified for, but somehow got them anyway. Lord Jesus, thank you. We are thankful for God dropping our name into someone's ear and using them to bless us. This, my friends, is favor. There is a saying that says favor ain't fair. To some, this would presuppose that favor meant excessive kindness or unfair partiality, preferential treatment, and you might be right. If you look at various stories in the Bible, God's favor was upon several people. He chose them not for what they could do or who they were related to, but because he could trust them with completing the assignment and being a man or a woman after his own heart. You see, there isn't anything we can do to get favor. It's just given to us because of the God we serve. So let me just pause right there and let me go in and share this sentence, because every time I read it, since I've written it, it just jumps out at me. He chose them not for what they could do or who they were related to, but because he could trust them with completing the assignment and being a man or woman after his own heart. And so my question to you is can God trust you with completing the assignment? Can God trust you with completing the assignment? Like, when we talk about favor, God gives you favor to be able to go in and do things that other people can't do because he trusts you to be able to complete the assignment. He trusts you to be able to go in and fulfill whatever it is that you're supposed to fulfill, right? And so it says when God opens a door that you know you had nothing to do with, that's favor. When people start calling you from out of nowhere to do things that more qualified people could do, that's favor. Take a quick moment and thank God for favor. Thank him for redeeming the time in your life and speeding things up when you thought they were slowing down. Thank him for moving some things and some people out of the way so that you could be next in line. Thank him for trusting you enough to be the vessel he is using, because he could have used and blessed anyone else, but he chose to use you. How super juicy is that, right? Let's give some hearts just for the fact that God opened some doors. Maybe he even closed some doors. Maybe he moved you up. Maybe he moved some people out of the way. Whatever the case may be, understand that God's favor on your life has absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with him. Like, I could just throw the book down. Like, talking to myself too. like just opportunities that come your way, things that happen to you, blessings that happen to you. Like at the end of the day, like when God is blessing you, when you think about the favor of God on your life, it has absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with God. When God spares your life, when based on, and here's the other part about favors, that there are some things that at the end of the day, like God could totally like just wipe you out, but because the favor of God is on your life, God will spare you. He will allow you still to be able to succumb to the consequence, but he won't allow that thing to take you out. With just 2 days left of with just 2 days of thanks left, I have a feeling that you will be ready to take off when this is over, and the favor of God will begin to open doors for you as never before. Things that people have put in twice as much work to do, you will be able to do and complete in half the time. Let me just tell y'all, that was for me. I had to just say that for myself. Individuals that others have been trying to connect with for years and months, you will be able to connect with in days and weeks. If you're ready to go to the next level and you're ready to maintain this attitude of gratitude, then get ready for God to blow your mind, not only in the big things, but the little things as well. Remember when we talked about in the very first few days, right? Just finished reading Acts and started Philippians. Paul was chosen and shown favor because God knew he could do the work and be faithful. Absolutely, Sharon. Like, how juicy is that? Faye says, she's talking about in reference to just how has this been. She says, it has been a support and needed word in a time of need. It has provided clear direction in a time of transition in the wilderness. It works today. Today it works. Today I was diagnosed with strep, but I paused and was thankful for insurance. Listen, child, listen, Linda, right? You begin to start being thankful for things that like you never in your mind thought to be thankful for, right? It's like, Lord, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm thankful anyway. Like, I'm thankful that stuff seems to be going crazy, but I'm thankful anyway. Like, you intentionally find things to be thankful for. Your perspective changes, and based on your perspective and how that changes, you get to a point where, guess what? You're not downtrodden. You're thankful despite what is going on, because you know God is at the forefront. You know that God is worth blessing. You know that God is worth thanking. You know that God is worth magnifying. You know that God is worth expanding and increasing. You know that God is such a good God that despite what is going on, he's worthy. Like, Lord, I just thank you. I started to complain earlier today while I was in the car, and I said, Lord, you know what? I can't even do that. I'm just going to thank you. Like, I literally caught myself. This is what this book is about. Like, at the end of the day, you need to be reading this book. If you don't need to read it every month, you need to read it at least 2 or 3 times every quarter, right? Once a quarter, like, you just literally need to read this as you're beginning to go into a new quarter of the year, so that as things come your way, as you close out one quarter and go into the next quarter, you need to say, you know what? Let me just do my 30 days of thanks right now, because I really need to be in a space that no matter what happens this quarter, whatever goals I have, whatever stuff that I'm setting out to do, if things don't necessarily happen the way I want them to happen, hey, Jasmine, I see you. Hi, Tyra, how are you? If things don't happen the way I anticipated happening, I still give you honor, glory, and praise. I still thank you. I still thank you. Hopefully my computer doesn't die. I'm at 15% on my laptop, so if I need to get my my charger, I will, but I'm going to finish reading, and we'll see how this works out, okay? My little thingy is feeling a little, hold on, y'all. It's feeling a little, I don't know. I felt like it was getting ready to fall off. Okay. So it says, but you must remember one thing, favor ain't fair. So when the blessings of God begin to show up in abundance at a speed that you can't explain or contain, remember to give all the thanks and praise unto our Creator for being so gracious to bestow blessings upon you instead of the person who was next in line. And so the one thing that, and this is so interesting because I shared maybe about a month ago at a conference, and the message was, I'm next. And the premise behind the message wasn't that I'm next, but it was basically that I'm creating my next. And that, and it came from the passage of scripture where the woman with the issue of blood. And it was where Jesus was basically going with Jairus to tend to his dying daughter. And all of a sudden, in the middle of him going to tend to Jairus' daughter, this woman touches him. And so because this woman touches him, literally in the middle of it, where Jairus was technically next to get the blessing, the woman, not because she had favor, but because she had faith and because she believed, She touched the hem of his garment, and because she believed enough to touch him, despite her situation, she was healed. And for some of you, the favor of God is on your life to be in a space where it will put you next when you are not next in line. It will position you. Your faith and your thanks and your gratitude will position you, right, to be in a space where you are not technically next, but that it will literally propel you to be next. And so those who were in line won't necessarily get what's ready for them at that particular time, because you'll step in and say, wait, I just need what's for me right now. Somebody needs to catch that, like, real talk. Like, for some of us, and I y'all don't understand how I'm talking to myself right now, that there are some things that are going to happen only because you believe enough that God is going to do it for you, that you have faith enough, that you have gratitude enough, that you have thanks enough to be able to know that God is working on your behalf despite what it looks like, right? I shared something today that says, let me see if I can go in here and figure it out. Where was it? Oh, it says, keep walking by faith. Don't trust what you see unless what you see is what he said. Keep walking by faith. Don't trust what you see, because literally we don't walk by sight, we walk by faith. So it says, keep walking by faith and don't trust what you see unless what you see is what he said. And the reason I say that is because sometimes what you see is exactly what he said, but it doesn't look like what you thought it would be. And so sometimes you overlook it. All right, let me go into the journal assignment. I'm all excited. I'm excited myself, y'all. Okay. It says, take some time to think about the favor of God and how God's favor has moved in your life. Now, you might be saying, I don't think it has. Then this is the time to start thinking about what you want God to do in your life and start expecting his favor to move on your behalf. Psalm 37:4 Amplified says that if we delight ourselves in him, he will give us the desires and petitions of our heart. So begin to rest in him and share the desires of your heart and write them down. Thank God in advance for what he is getting ready to do. Then say it out loud and put it into the atmosphere so that it can take form and operate on your behalf. Now, if you know the favor of God has operated on your behalf, write down those instances and then thank God for moving some things around for you. Then, when writing, leave nothing out, even if you think it's something small, because many times what seems small to you is huge to somebody else. And I was going to say this in the beginning, but in one of the things that I want you to pay attention to is when we talked about, and I think it was either day 1 or 8 or 7 when we talked about being thankful that it could be worse, or being thankful that it happened, right? And so we talked about I think it's Zechariah 4:10 where it says, despise not the day of small beginnings. And so for many of you, don't miss out on the fact that the favor of God is working on you just because it doesn't look big to you, right? Remember that sometimes God is the favor of God doesn't change despite the circumstances. It's already on your life, but it's growing, right? And so when the favor of God is on you, just like when we talk about David, if you think about David, if you think about the story of Joseph, the favor of God was on their lives. If you think about the story of Esther, the favor of God was on her life. Because of the way that she was able to connect with people. Like even at the very beginning when she was preparing to present herself to the king, it shows that she had favor upon all that she had come in contact with. And so she was not yet queen, but she still had favor. God, that just spoke to me. I'm not sure who I'm talking to, that you might not be queen yet. You may not be at that point yet, but you still have favor. God is giving you favor with people. He's giving you favor with the people you come in contact with. Even the folks who may not like you, God gives you favor with them. They may not necessarily be rooting for you, but he's giving you favor with them so that as you move up, each person or each place that you go, he's giving you favor. I'm talking to myself, y'all. Okay, I'm going to pray. This is so super juicy. Let me just make sure that the computer didn't cut off here on Facebook. I see you all, but I see like it's okay. It's still there, but it's like acting crazy. How juicy is that, right? All right. So the prayer says, Dear Lord, in this 28th day of thanks, we are so thankful and grateful for favor. Thank you for opening doors that some people thought were closed. Thank you for moving things around on our behalf. Thank you for putting our names in the ears and mouths of others so that by the time we approach them, they were prepared to say yes. Lord, although we don't deserve it, we thank you for counting us worthy enough to be trusted to follow through even in the midst of fear. We know we weren't qualified, but we knew we were called. Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for skipping us up to the front of the line for healing, financial breakthrough, for relationship building in our businesses, the new house, peace of mind, and anything else we know others have been waiting years to receive. Lord, if we had 10,000 tongues, we couldn't thank you enough, but on this day of thanks, we will give you all the glory, honor, and praise. Thanking God for favor. Favor. You have favor. You may not necessarily have the manifestation of the vision or what it is that God has on your life. Like Esther didn't know she was going to be queen. She was adopted by her cousin who happened to be older than her, kind of like her cousin uncle, right? And he had heard about the king looking for a new queen and said, you got to go. Sent her for 12 months of preparation. And in the midst of the 12 months of preparation, she was able to gain favor with the people. As she transitioned from the one level to the next level where she was getting ready to prepare herself to go before the king, God gave her favor again to be able, and because he gave her favor, those people gave her whatever she wanted. Literally, they gave her whatever she wanted. And she said, whatever you all tell me to do, I will do it. Just give me what I need. They told her the basics to put her before the king. When the king saw her, she claimed she received favor from him. Some of you have to understand, listen, I just don't know why we're in this season of despising small beginnings, why we feel like because we're not where we want to, that God's hand is not on us, that his favor is not on us. I'm telling y'all, I'm talking to myself too, that we feel like just because of the place that we're in, that God is not in it. But let me just tell you, go through the process. She went through 12 months of beautification, 12 months of preparing herself before she even presented herself to the king. Some of you have to go through 12 months. Maybe it might even be 12 years. When we talk about the lady with the issue, woman with the issue of blood, she went through 12 years before, and she literally exhausted all of her resources. And for some of you, my God, this thing is so rich for me. For some of you, you are exhausting all of your resources because God needs to show you that when he begins to bless you and when he finally blesses you, it is not going to be on your own accord. It is going to be your faith in him and him doing a work in you. Jesus. I got to get my charger because my computer is getting ready to die. Y'all give me 1 second. But you all need to know, while we are in this season of small, while we are in this season of, it seems like not enough, while we are in this season of hiding, while we're in this season of we don't feel like, we're where God wants us to be. You are right where God wants you to be. You are right where you need to be. And let me just tell you, just stay the course. Stay the course. She went through 12 years of exhausting her resources. I'm just plugging this up, y'all. All right, there we go. 12 years. 12 years of exhausting her resources. She went through 12 years of being isolated, 12 years of being rejected, 12 years of being abandoned, 12 years of not being able to connect with people, 12 years of not being able to be in the space of not being with her family. And I mentioned this at the conference. I said, I don't even know if she was married, but those of you who are married, I don't even, can you imagine not being with your husband or your wife for 12 years because you have something going on in your body and you can't touch them, you can't hug them, you can't kiss them. And so she had exhausted all of her resources. She heard that Jesus was coming to town and decided that I gotta find out where this man named Jesus is. I gotta figure out how I can get to him. And although I'm in a season of isolation, although I'm in a place where I'm not necessarily supposed to even be touching him and connecting with him, that I've gotta get to him. And if I can get to him, I know that if I touch the hem of his garment, if I can touch the hem of his garment, that what I think it was the Message version says, if I can just put a finger on his robe, that I will be made whole, that I will be made well, that I will be made clean. For some of you, if you can just stay the course, if you won't just get weary and well doing, if you stay in the race, if you stay doing what you need to do, that in due season, in due time, if you humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, in due season, God will exalt you. And some of us, I get it. Oh God, I'm with you. Some of us get weary. Some of us see other people being exalted. Some of us see other people being elevated. Some of us see, and we're cheering them on. We're excited for them, but we're wondering, God, when is my time? I'm wondering, God, when is my level? When am I going to up level? When am I going to get there? Let me just tell you that the favor of God is working on your behalf. If you just stay the course, if you do the work, if you do what you're supposed to be doing, just like Sharon says, you cannot rush the process or resist the lessons God may be trying to teach us. You can have favor and let the distractions make you think you don't. Ooh, that was so good. You can have the favor and let the distractions make you think that you don't have it. Like I said, Esther, when Mordecai sent her into the camp of the people who were preparing her to present herself to the queen to the king, she already had favor. She already had favor. She already had favor. You already have favor. It is already there. It is working on your behalf. Just let it do what it's supposed to do. Like real talk. My God, Detra, you are preaching to me. So many challenges in this transition to Charlotte, but people are blessing me. Listen. I pray for favor. I pray for connection. I pray that that the people that you come in contact with, that God grants you favor, that you will have favor, that they will bless you, that they'll just say things like, I don't know why I feel the need to bless you, but I just want to be a blessing to you. I don't feel the need. I don't even know, like for somebody, you're going to have people telling you like, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I want to be a blessing to you. What is it that you need? When somebody comes to you, the next time somebody comes to you and say, hey, what do you need? Have an answer. Have an answer. The next time somebody comes to you and say, hey, what do you need? Like, do you need anything? And that pride gets in and we say, oh, well, I don't need anything. Have an answer. Your assignment is to figure out what you need and have an answer, because the person who's asking, I'm sure, is in a position to give you what you need. Have an answer. The favor of God will present you to the people. Have an answer for what you desire. Let it be an answer to a prayer. Have an answer. So many times people will say, well, what can I do for you? What do you need? And you say, oh, I don't know. Well, let me think about it. I'm not sure. Listen, next time I'm going to have me an answer. Have an answer. Have an answer. Have an answer. This is so good, y'all. Super juicy. So good. So good. So for those of you who are joining, whether it's on the replay or you're just coming in, we were reading from day 28 of my book, 30 Days of Thanks. 30 Daily Devotions of Cultivating an Attitude of Gratitude. You can get it at trueheartspeaks.com/30 Days of Thanks. It's also available on Amazon. If you order them from my website, you can get the book and the journal. 2 for $25. And it just like this right here just totally spoke to me. Like, and I say it every day, but it's literally, like reading, when I read these words, it's like reading like living words. Like, it's literally like I didn't write this like 5 years ago. Listen, that happened last night. I said a job and apartment. Listen, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? And so, like, it just is speaking to me, like the favor of God. Like, sometimes we feel like we don't know. And like Sharon says, you can have favor and let the distractions make you think you don't. You can, like, again, you can let what you see distract you from what God has said to you. And so if what you see doesn't match up to what he said, you focus on what he said, right? Keep faith. Keep the faith. Keep walking by faith. Keep walking by faith. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. But this was really good. I thank you, Lord. I'm so grateful for these 30 days of thanks. I really am. Like, I'm thankful for this journey. I'm thankful for that you all have been joining me on this journey. Like, we're 2 days away from closing out. Tomorrow we're going to talk about purpose, and then Thursday we're going to close out with our 30th day is completion. And so if you have been joining me, if you have been reading the book, if this is your first, second, or third time reading the book, I just want to say thank you. I haven't asked in a while, but if you have the book and you read it, if you can go on Amazon and if you can give me a review of the book, just so like when people go, they can see that you love the book. And, just, give me some kudos. And that's if you love the book. If you don't, that's cool too. But I have been, like, some days I'm up, some days I'm down. But, like, when I read the book and I get online, like, some people are like, it's 10 o'clock, like, how are you able to, or like it's 7 o'clock in the morning, like, how are you able to have so much energy? But it just, there's just something about, the Holy Spirit, and there's just something about doing, you know, getting that resurgence when you start to read something that just kind of gives you a pep in your step, and it just kind of like transforms you. And so, whew, just so juicy, y'all. So juicy. And so again, I thank y'all for joining me. Please share this message. And thank you for, you know, just being open. And I'm just, you know, I'm just excited about what God is getting ready to do. Like, I think, you know, this is just the beginning. And so I'm not, and I will tell you, like, I'm not, you know, prophesying or speaking like, you know, instantaneous blessings, like things are just going to happen like miraculously tomorrow. But I'm also not saying that can't happen. Like, I think we be open to God doing something instantaneously, but we also be grateful if it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, you have a spirit of expectation that God is going to do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ask or think. That you have a spirit of expectation that the favor of God goes before you every single day. That the favor of God opens doors that no man can close. That the favor of God closes, no man can open. That the favor of God, I don't know how I got on this live, but thank you, Queen. You are absolutely welcome, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining. That the favor of God goes before you, that the favor of God speaks before you, that the favor of God speaks your name into the atmosphere for people to recognize you even when they don't know you, that the favor of God, will these videos be available on your YouTube page? Yes, they will. They are, actually, I have to continue putting, started, I think all of last week is on there for the rest of the month up to last week, but yesterday and today are not up there, but they will be available on YouTube. You can share them on YouTube, and they also are available on Facebook and Periscope. And so if you are, you know, if you have some people who are not on Facebook and you want to share the YouTube video, you can definitely do that. But again, I mean, I think that we just have to start. Sometimes we get comfortable, and sometimes we just say, well, and I'm the first one that has said, and I will continue to say, slow and steady. Like, some people say, like, fast and quick gets you there. But sometimes slow and steady consistency, it gets you there. Like, you just do what you need to do, one step at a time, one day at a time, however you need to do it. But then sometimes just God will come in and he will blow your mind with some things that like you didn't even know he was getting ready to do. And so my prayer is that the favor of God will start to sweep you, that will start to just kind of move and change some things, that he will start to just wipe some stuff out, and he will start to replace and bless you with some things. And so for you, as you, and I said this to somebody, not too long ago, and I'm trying to remember who it was, and I won't say any names because I think she's on here, but the idea behind this is that for some of y'all have been praying for things, and you've been praying for the favor of God to move in your life, but when the favor of God moves in your life, because it's not what you think it should be or how you think it should be, you kind of forget the prayers that you prayed, right? And so you got to get to a place where you remember the prayers that God prayed for you, that you remember the things that you're asking God for, that you remember that you asked God to do a certain thing a certain way, and when God did it, you forgot because it didn't come when you thought it was going to come. And so I'm just praying the favor of God on all of us. I'm praying that God will bless us. I'm praying that God will do some stuff that is like in a signs and wonders manifestation, that it will be something that like you just know without a shadow of a doubt that your consistency, that you being consistent, and that you have been, die hard, over these last 30 days, and really just honoring God and being thankful and really developing an attitude of gratitude. And despite what's going on, just trusting him to see you through this thing, that he is going to honor it. And whether he honors it on December 1st, 2017, or December 1st on 2018, or August 15th on 2019, that God will honor the seeds that we are sowing, and we will see the manifestation of the seeds that we are sowing, that there will be a harvest from the seeds that we are sowing, the seeds that we're cultivating, that we don't get weary in well doing, but that we, oh God, that we will reap if we faint not, that we will reap if we faint not. So I love y'all. Y'all going to bed and meditate on this word. Go back and read it. Go back and listen to it, and share it again. And more importantly, get to a place where you receive what it is that God has for you, right? That you receive it, that you be open to it, and that you claim it, right? And that you talk to yourself, and that you speak God's word over yourself. Like, and like I said, I can't talk a little bit about what I'm working on, but I'm working on a project, my new project, my new book, and it really has to do with speaking, right? It's totally in alignment with my I Speak Life brand, but that we have to get to a place where we really start to speak the things over us as speaking life as opposed to speaking death. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want y'all to be encouraged. I want y'all to, to know that God is for you. I want y'all to know that God is, has not forgotten you. And that, again, if you humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, he will exalt you in due time. And if you continue to tell yourself that God, so long as I humble myself under your mighty hand, that you will exalt me in due time. I trust your timing, not my timing. And that I understand that you will exalt me when the time is right. And so maybe I feel that the time is right now, but if I haven't already been exalted, then it's not your time. Help me, oh God, to humble myself under the mighty hand of you, that I will be exalted in due time. Help me, God, to be humble under the mighty hand of you, that I will be exalted in due time. Right? Help me not get weary in well doing, so that I will reap if I faint not. Help me, God. Like, you got to start speaking. That's the type of stuff. You have to talk to yourself. You got to change your language. You got to change your language. We have to change our language. We cannot get caught up in what we see. We cannot get caught up in how we feel. We cannot get caught up in what others are saying. We cannot get caught up in how other people are feeling. That transference of spirits and transfers, just like they say, happiness is contagious, so is negativism. So is, complaining. All of that stuff is contagious. And so you hang around folks who are complaining all the time, and then all of a sudden you find yourself complaining. And so we declare that the favor of God is on us. We declare that the favor of God will open doors. We declare that the favor of God will speak and will proclaim our name, that our name will go out, and that people will hear us, that our name will be great, and that our gift will make room for us. Like, we got to start, oh God, I don't know who I'm talking to. We have to start speaking this thing. Period. All right, y'all go to bed. Faith over feelings. Absolutely, Sharon. Absolutely. Faith over feelings. So, those of you who are just joining, hey, Billy, we're just getting ready to close out, but please, please, please go back and check out the replay. It was so good. And then share it. If you, and I don't know if you've been here all along, and then maybe you just pop back in, because I know sometimes Facebook is kind of crazy like that. But I just want to thank everybody for joining me tonight and listening to today's Day of Thanks. I want to thank you again for joining me all 28 days. And so obviously we're not live on the weekends on Saturday and Sunday, but the Monday through Fridays that we've been live. And so Thursday will be our last day live. But if you do not know, you can catch me every Monday morning at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time for the Morning Life Scope with Trueheart Speaks, which is me, where I give a Monday motivational message. And so if you missed this Monday's message, go back into Periscope and into Facebook and check it out. And I talked about planning your work and working your plan. And so I'm super excited about that message, because it has already motivated people to get to working and doing and planning and getting ready for 2018. And the premise behind that wasn't just to forget about what the rest of this year, but to get yourself in gear so that you're not already at January 1st thinking like, oh, well, what am I going to do this year? You're thinking about that now. So I would encourage you to check that out too. And I believe, I may not have put that on YouTube either, but my morning life scopes are also on YouTube as well. So I pray that you all have a restful and peaceful sleep. I pray that you sleep well, that the favor of God be on your sleep, that you sleep better than you have slept in the last few days, and that just the favor of God will be in your dreams, that you will dream big dreams, and that you will smile in your sleep, and that God would just bless you, and really he's already blessed you, but that the blessings would now begin to overtake you as you begin to humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, that in due time he will exalt you. That your name is being made great, and that your gift is making room for you as you continue to do the work, as you continue to go through the process, as you continue to do whatever it is now that God is telling you to do in these small beginnings. Despise not the day of small beginnings, that as you are faithful over few, God will begin to transition you to rule over many. It is a transition. It is a process. And so if you're doing the work now, Joseph, at some point the vision that I have revealed to you, Joseph, will manifest into you becoming second in command, Joseph, over Egypt when the time is right. I know you're wrapping up, but I literally was just reading Philippians, where Paul was describing how Jesus humbled himself and God exalted him to the highest place. Listen, You already know. You already know we do confirmations here, Sharon. So how juicy is that? How juicy is that, right? And so, yeah. So, again, y'all sleep well tonight. And whatever it is that is burdening you, whatever it is that you are carrying, I want you to give it to him and trust that he's got it, that you cast your care on him because he cares for you, that you would lighten your load, and you would just cast it over to him, right? And trust that not only he has it, but that he has you. So I love y'all. We will pick up tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time. It might be a little later because tomorrow is Renovation Wednesdays, is Renovate Live Wednesday, and so I'm normally with my students tomorrow night, and I actually have to teach tomorrow night. So I'm going to try to get on as quickly as possible by 10, but if I'm a little late, you all know that it's a Wednesday and that I am coming from student ministry. And so at the end of the day, I love y'all. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome night, depending upon where you are in this world. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I'll close out by just saying that I am Detra Trueheart of Trueheart Speaks Enterprises. Welcome to 30 Days of Thanks Live. We're just closing this out with Trueheart Speaks, which is me. And I basically help women specifically get out of their own way and get to the business of living so that they can do life well. And the way we do that is help you to get unstuck and get started. And so y'all have a good night. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow night.